Flaws are a major mechanic in the Outer Worlds too. They will drastically change the playstyle of your character and even sometimes affect the story of the game. Each flaw will have a positive and a negative effect on you. So in this video, we will be going over every available flaw, how to get each flaw, and what the best and worst flaws are, to help you avoid taking flaws that will ruin your game. But first, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos just like this one for the Outer Worlds 2 and other RPG games, subscribe to this channel. Now, the first flaw that many people will encounter will be the consumerism flaw. To get this flaw, you will need to purchase or own the premium edition of the Outer Worlds 2. This flaw will make items that are sold by vendors 15% cheaper, but the items that you sell to vendors will be worth 10% less. Personally, I think that this is a flaw that you'll want to keep. The items that vendors sell can get pretty expensive, especially if you're trying to buy decryption keys to open lockboxes, or buy unique gear. So that 15% discount will be really helpful. Selling your items for 10% less really isn't that big of a deal, as there will always be a lot of junk items that you can pick up and sell, and you will still get the full amount of money from missions and looting enemies. The next flaw is the easily distracted flaw. To gain this flaw, you will need to put 5 skill points into 5 different skills. This flaw will make you gain 1 extra skill point for a total of 2 skill points every time you level up. But you will only be able to spend those skill points on skills that have the lowest skill points already put into them. This is a flaw that you'll want to avoid. It might be nice to get that extra skill point every level, but only being able to put those skill points into skills that you probably don't want really won't help you. And instead, it will just spread your skill points across all skills, making it almost impossible to stick to a build or a playstyle that you enjoy. Next up, we have the over-prepared flaw. To gain this flaw, you will need to keep reloading your guns while you still have ammo in the mag. This flaw will increase the amount of ammo that you can hold in all of your mags by 50%, but you will do 40% less damage for 8 seconds if you reload a gun with an empty mag. This is a great flaw that you'll want to take. Having more ammo in your mag means you can do more damage before reloading, and all you'll have to do is reload your weapon when you have 1 ammo left in the mag to avoid doing 40% less damage. The next flaw is the dependent flaw. To gain this flaw, you'll need to regularly have companions with you when you go into combat. This flaw will make you do 25% more damage to enemies who have recently been damaged by your companions, but you will permanently do 10% less damage. Now this one will be up to you, because if you find yourself not really using companions, I would avoid this flaw. But if you use companions a lot, then this flaw may be very good for you. Next is the treacherous flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to do a lot of sneak attacks to take out enemies. This flaw will make you do 100% more sneak damage and make enemy awareness depletion rate 50% faster, but you will permanently lose 25% of your total health. This is a flaw that I would avoid, because losing a quarter of your health will make you very weak, and there's a lot of fights in the game that you just won't be able to use sneak attacks for. But if you're trying to use a full stealth build, this could be a good flaw for you. The next flaw on the list is the teetotaler flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to regularly avoid toxicity by not using your inhaler and by staying away from xerinium gas. This flaw will make inhalers heal you for 25% more, but you'll also gain 25% more toxicity every time that you use an inhaler. I would suggest avoiding this flaw to avoid having a huge buildup of toxicity. The next flaw is the Luddite flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to avoid using gadgets. This flaw will give you 10% more damage resistance when your gadget energy meter is full, but it will reduce your gadget meter and energy recharge rate by 25%. Again, I would avoid this flaw because gadgets are strong and helpful, so you'll want to be able to use them as often as you can. Next up is the bad knees flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to keep crouching near enemies or as you're exploring. This flaw will increase your movement speed while crouched by 50%, but every time you crouch, your knees will crack, which enemies will hear and investigate if they are within 10 meters. This is a good flaw if you use it correctly. To do this, make sure that you only crouch if you're more than 10 meters away from enemies. Next up, we have the anger management flaw. To gain this flaw, you'll need to avoid blocking melee attacks and instead just let melee attackers hit you. This flaw will increase your power attack damage by 25%, but you will take 50% more damage when blocking attacks. This is a great flaw if you're using a melee build, but if you aren't, I would avoid this flaw. Next up, we have the gluttony flaw. To gain this flaw, you'll need to eat and drink a lot. This flaw will make food and drinks heal you for 15% more, but you will move 10% slower when you're in combat. I would personally take this flaw because there's a lot of armor in the game that will increase your movement speed in combat, which will remove the negative effect of that 10% slower movement speed. The next flaw is Profligate Spender. To get this flaw, you'll need to spend a majority of your bits on a single item from a vendor. This flaw will take 75% of all the bits that you get and store them away. You will then gain 25% interest on those bits every time that you level, and another 25% interest every 5 levels. Then when you reach level 30, you will instantly be given 150% of all the bits that you've saved. While this flaw might sound good because of the large amount of money that you'll get at level 30, only having access to 25% of the money you earn while getting to level 30 means you won't be able to buy much of the items that you need along the way. And by level 30, the game will pretty much be done, so there won't be much use for those bits anyways. So I would avoid this flaw. Next, we have the Snobbish flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to sell and buy crafting materials from vendors. This flaw will make vendors buy crafting materials from you for 20% more bits, but you will never be able to dismantle anything ever again. This is another flaw that I might avoid because not being able to dismantle items will make it harder for you to get the materials that you need for crafting. But if you find yourself not doing much crafting, this could be a good flaw to get more money to buy the things that you need. Dangerously Curious is the next flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to hack a few terminals. This flaw will make you gain 100% more experience when hacking terminals, but hacking will now require one extra bypass shunt. This is a flaw that you'll want to take. It's pretty easy to find bypass shunts, so why not use an extra one to get even more experience? Next up, we have the Bibliomania flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to read a lot of books and data pads that you'll find while exploring. This flaw will increase your base health by 20%, but your base health will be reduced by 30% for 2 minutes after talking to any NPC. I would highly suggest avoiding this flaw. The boost in base health is nice, but there's a lot of talking in the Outer Worlds too, and it's common for combat to start right after talking to an NPC, which is when you would have that 30% reduced health. Next, we have the Reckless Leadership flaw. To unlock this flaw, you'll need to have your companions be killed in combat. This flaw will make one of your allies instantly refill their ability meter and their health when your second companion is killed, but you'll never be able to revive your companions again. This is another flaw that I would avoid because not being able to revive your companions isn't worth it. Even if they die frequently, you'll still want to be able to revive them. The next flaw is Irradiated. To get this flaw, you will need to progress through the main story of the Outer Worlds 2 until you reach the N-Ray range, then complete the main quest for that area. This flaw will give you a 5% chance to become invisible whenever you take damage, but whenever you become invisible, you will take damage equal to 5% of your total health. This is a really strong flaw, so I would suggest accepting it. The invisibility is helpful when you're trying to hide from or get away from enemies, and while invisible, you'll do bonus damage. Next, we have the Flawed flaw. To get this flaw, you will need to accept 2 flaws. This flaw will make you gain an extra perk point every 5 levels, but you will be forced to accept every flaw that is offered to you after you accept this one. This is a dangerous flaw to accept because if you get it early on, you'll be forced to accept every flaw that you encounter. But if you run into it towards the end of the game, after you've already rejected all of the bad flaws, then it isn't really that bad. But by then you're probably close to level 30 and you won't get much from those extra skill points. So I would suggest avoiding this flaw. The next flaw on the list is the Kleptomania flaw. To gain this flaw, you will need to steal a lot of items from houses and settlements without being caught. This flaw will increase the vendor value of stolen items by 100%, but your character will randomly steal nearby items even if NPCs can see you. If you're on your first playthrough of The Outer Worlds 2, I would say avoid this flaw, because it can negatively affect your reputation with the factions and increase your bounty, but it's a fun flaw to use on future playthroughs. And the final flaw is the foot and mouth syndrome flaw. To get this flaw, you'll need to regularly skip dialogue. This flaw will make you permanently gain 15% more experience from everything that you do, but there's a chance that dialogue options can be randomly chosen for you if you don't pick options fast enough. In my opinion, this is a great flaw. The bonus experience will help you level up faster, and it's really easy to manage the negative part of this flaw by just reading dialogue options and picking them quickly. And those are all of the available flaws in The Outer Worlds 2, but I would love to know which of these are your favorites in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.